Hello everyone. Welcome back you all to this session in which we try to look into the OOPS concepts in PHP. So we basically discuss about what is a class, what is an object, and what are the constructor and a destructor, and so on. We try to cover all these topics in this video. So let us start with class. So what exactly is a class and what is an object? So class are the blueprints of an object. So we can say that class can objects can be defined based on the classes. Okay. Okay. So objects are defined based on the classes. So one big difference between functions and classes is that a class contains both data variable and functions that form a package called an object. So basically here what we are saying is that a object is an instance of a class. Okay. So class is a programmer defined data type. So it's actually based, it's like a data type which a programmer can define on itself. For example, class can have whatever, it's like a class can be of any type, and also we can try to inherit, we can create an object which is a reference to a class, and using that object we can perform all the operations. Okay. So class is a programmer defined data type which includes local methods and variables in the class. So we talk in the later session, we talk about the what are the access specifiers like public, private, and protect. So these things we'll discuss in the coming video, in the upcoming part of the video. So class is a collection of objects, and object has properties and behavior of class. Okay. So object has properties and behavior of a class. So what exactly is having a class will be there in the object also. Okay. So this is a basic simple syntax of a class. How we define a class? We use a keyword called class, and using that keyword this is a class name. Okay, this is a class name. And one more important thing is like function name should not be equal to the class name, which we try to define in this class. It must not be equal to this thing. Okay. So what is a constructor? So constructor are special member functions for initial settings of newly created object. So when you create an object, what are the initial thing it has to? It should create a instance of a class. So that is the main aim of the constructor. And what is a destructor? Destructor's main aim is to destroy the class object, destroy the object that has been created in the class. Okay. So constructors are the very basic building blocks that define the future object and its nature. So basically, constructor defines what type of, so what exactly is the class and what type of object is being created in the class. Okay. You can say that constructors are like the blueprints of an object creation. So basically, what exactly to be present in the object are defined in the constructor. Okay, that's all. So once the object is initialized, the constructor is automatically called. Destructors are for destroying the objects and automatically called at the end of the destruction. Okay. So why we need constructor and destructor? The main advantage of destructor is that destructor give chance to free up memory location, because there exists a object which we have created in the initial part of the code, and we don't use it in the end. So after usage we try to remove the object so that there will be a memory, there will be a memory available for that, so that there can be a new object that can be created, and so on like that. It effectively make program run more efficiently and are very useful as they carry out cleanup tasks. So now we'll try to discuss what exactly is a class, and we'll try to code. Okay. So this may be his code. I had to try to create a new file in the htdocs folder. So my class .php. Okay. So in this thing we'll try to code what exactly is class and so on, things like that. Okay. So now let us define a simple class simple class person. So class person. Okay, we have defined the class person and class person. Okay, so these are class. Now I'll define a default constructor to this. Okay, so I'll give public function. So how we call a constructor is start off with a two underscores. Okay, construct. Construct is the keyword which you use for creating a constructor. Okay, construct echo this class. Okay, this class underscore class underscore dot has been initiated. Okay, we'll try to run this. There is an error, I guess. Say okay, this because of this. Okay, now let us try to define this class LAS as. So using this, what exactly is happening? Echo class has been created. Now let's try to okay. Echo echo class. This class has been initiated. Okay. So this is a default constructor. So whenever we create any object of this, so this will be displayed. Okay. Let us create an object of this. So dollar object. So we declare object of this class. The object is equal to new person. Okay. Now let us check what happens now. So when you run this, so it this when you create this object, this function is automatically called because this is a default constructor. This constructor is automatically called, and what happens is this statement is being displayed. Okay, let us check this out. Okay, my class.php. See, this class has been initiated. Okay, so this is the basic thing of a default constructor. Okay, so this is a default constructor, doesn't have any parameters. So now let us talk about what exactly is user defined constructor and a parameterized constructor. Okay, see now let us discuss about what is a user defined constructor. Okay, so let us declare one user constructor, user defined public function. Okay, name public function name echo echo this is a user defined constructor. Okay. So I've called this, I've written this function, but when we create an object of the class, this function is not being called. Okay, it will be there present, but we have to separately call this. So let us check that out. So I have to refresh this. See, class has been initiated, but it is not printing whatever I have given in the other function. Okay, so now let us call that function object. Okay, of name. Now we get the output. Let me refresh this. See, this is a user defined constructor. Okay, so there is a basic difference between the user defined, user defined constructor and predefined constructor. So whatever it is there in the predefined constructor, it gets executed whenever the object has been created. But whenever we create a user defined constructor, we have to call it separately. Unless and until we call it, we can't get anything defined. Okay. So now, what is parameterized constructor? So parameterized constructor is, it just takes input, has some values. Okay, parameters has some values, in input has some parameters. So let us discuss about that. Public, just declare two variables. Okay, won't run this now. Okay, fine. This will change it. Okay, your name I'll take, rename I'll take. Public. Fine. I'll, in this constructor I'll try to write out. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. Name, this is a person number. Okay. Or else I'll take first name and last name as a input. F name, N name. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll create one more constructor, public function details is my new constructor I've created. Okay, I'll call this. Okay, this takes input as two things. Okay, dollar f name, comma, dollar l name. These are the two inputs which this function actually takes. Okay, now dollar this name will be equal to dollar f name. Okay, dollar this f name. Okay, will be equal to dollar f name. Similarly, similar way, I'll just copy this. Okay, This is L name. This is L name. Okay. These are the two things I have declared in this function. Okay. So now let me call one more function or so I have to write this. Okay. Just place this up there. The default constructor itself, we have declared the things. So at the time of initializing an object, you have to give these parameters also. Okay, you have to give these parameters also. There is one more thing we need to understand. So let me tell you clearly about what this thing does. Okay, now we will declare to write a function to declare the, to display these things. The first name is so and so. Okay. Echo echo okay is dollar this name dollar this f name. Okay, dollar this l name. Okay, so if I call this function, this will throw me an error. Okay, this will throw me an error. Dot is missing. Okay, this is error. Okay, now it is correct. Okay, so here this is showing yellow mark because since the constructor is having two parameters which we need to define now. See, so now we have to give the first name and last name. Ram is first name. Okay, Krishna is the last name. So see, now suddenly the yellow mark which has been there in this function has been removed because there is no error. Since we are calling a constructor which has a predefined parameters which we need to define when we call a new object here, we have missed it before, so it is showing an error. Not exactly an error, it's just simple error. So now it is okay because we have initiated all these things. Okay, now let us check this out once. So first name is Ram, last name is Krishna. So this is how we need to declare a parameterized constructor in the default constructor itself. Okay, so now in the similar way we call it a destructor. Okay, same thing, public function default destructor is there present. that starts with the underscore destruct. Okay, let's echo it. Echo the object has been destroyed. Okay, okay, object has been destroyed. So now let us check this out. See, the object has been destroyed. Okay, so now we can't, there is no more object has been present in this. So after this thing is executed, this will execute it. Once it is executed, the object will become destroyed. There will not be anything any more object that can be accessed. Okay. So now let us move on to the access specifiers. Okay. So what exactly are the access specifiers? So access specifiers are there are majorly there are three types. One is public, one is private, and one is protected. So when we talk about public variable or public function that we declare in a code, it will be accessible to that particular class and as well as the outside class as well as the inherited class also. Okay, so that is the main use of the public. So when we talk about private, we can access that variable or that function only within the function, only within the class, but not outside the class. And in the similar way, when we talk about the protected, the variables are the functions that can be accessed only within the function and also in the derived class, but not anywhere outside the class. Okay. So we'll just write a simple code over this. Okay. Access.php. Access.php. PHP. Okay. So here we try to write a code which has a public variable, public function. Okay. Now let me try to take a class, define a class. Okay. Class access instead of a class parent. We'll say class parent. Okay. Class parent. We talk class. We'll take it as this. Okay. So this is my class which I've defined. Okay. So in this class, I'll try to declare some variables which are public. Public variables, public $x equal 20. Okay, this one variable. The similar way, we try to declare two, three variables here. Equal to 30. Okay, these are the two variables. Now, let me try to define a function. Okay, public function. Function add. Okay, add echo $a or dollar and equal to dollar this x, okay, plus dollar this y. Okay, this is a simple function which we have declared in the class. So now let me create a subclass of this. Okay, class child extends access. Okay, there's one more class which I've declared. Now let me write a function. Okay, here I'll try to declare a public function. Public function sub. Okay, sub. Okay, sub. What it will echo dollar sub equal to dollar this y minus dollar this x. So this is a subclass which I have taken extended from a class parent class which is access. So okay. So now let me create a object of a child dollar object equal to new child. Okay. Now let me see what happens. What exactly happens now? Nothing will print actually. Okay, because there is no default constructor, or default constructor will just simply initialize this. Even though we call it, we don't call it, default constructor will just initialize this. Okay. So now, so what is the function access.php? Yes. So nothing is being printed over here. So now what exactly is happening now? So now since obj is an object of this child class, so whenever I call this, I have full authority to call this function which is present in the parent class also. So now let me call this function $obj add. Okay, $obj sub. Okay, so this is a function which I have created in the child class. This is the function which I have created in the parent class. But when I created an instance of a child class, but I'm able to access the parents class function as well. Okay, so now let us check what is happening now. See, 50 is and 10. 50 is the sum, and 10 is the difference. Okay, so this is a main usage when we use public access specifier. Okay, so now we'll try to use private. Okay, private instead of public, private. Similarly, private here also. Private here also. Okay, private here also. But let us check this out. If when we call this function, what exactly is happening now? See, there is an error, uncaught error, because this function we have made it private. When we make it private, its child cannot access the function which are been created here. Okay. So in the similar way, okay, this is the main thing. So this, see, call to a private method access add from global scope in C thrown an error. Okay, line 21. So but when we try to just do this, now let's check this output. 0. Because we are not able to do this also. Since, why? Because these are the private variables. Since these are private variables, these are limited to only the class only, not to the subclass also. So this is a major difference between private and public. Now let us try protected. What exactly is protected? Okay. Protected. Okay. Okay. Just check this out. Setting. Now we are able to access this. So whenever we try to write protected, see, we are not able to access this function, the function which have been created in the main class, but we are able to access the variables that are being created in the main class. But whereas when we try to run this, we are able to access all the functions that are being in the present in that particular class also, but we are able to access all the variables also, okay, by the extended class. So this is the main difference between public, private and protected access specifiers. Okay, now let us talk about multiple inheritance. Okay, so let us talk about multiple inheritance. So inherit dot php inherit dot php. Let us start this. Okay. Okay. Now let us define a class. Class A. Okay. Class A. Shit. So, class inherit is one class. So let us write a function, default function in this. Public function. Come. Okay. Echo. This is a function in class inherit. Okay. Okay. Done. So now let us create one more class. Class inherited. Okay, this one more class I would like to create. Okay. Okay, fine. Instead of class, we'll try to create an interface over here. Okay. interface. Interface has a basic okay default functions, okay, and defined functions. It does not, we can actually implement all these things, okay. We can actually implement an interface and extend a class. So these are difference between class and a interface. So public function common name is my function, default function. Okay, that's it. I won't write anything inside this. Now let me create a child class multiple extends inherit and implements 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 what? Inherited. Okay. So class multiple extends install this. Okay. Class multiple extends inherit implements inherited. So this is an abstract method which is being okay used here. So so welcoming is a default constructor which we have used in this interface. Now I'll try to use the abstract method. Using that abstract method, I'll create a function which prints hello in that. Okay, now I've created an object of this class, extended class from the above class. Okay, and which implements this interface. So I've called the functions which is present in the class, main class, which is inherit, and an abstract method which have been used in the interface inherited. Okay, now let me run this. Let me run this. What exactly is happening now? To go to inherit.php. There is a function in class inherited and it prints hello. Okay, and do echo over here. Now let us see. So this is a function in class inherit and hello is been from the this interface which have been used as an abstract method. So these are the simple things which actually, so this is a multiple inheritance because I have inherited this function from the main class which is inherit, and I have inherited an abstract method from this interface. Okay, and I have called this abstract method, and I have changed the abstract method which is being used in the interface, and accordingly I will change the block of statements which have to be executed in that particular child class. So I'll create a new object of this class, and accordingly I'll change the things. Okay, so we'll talk about what exactly is an abstract class in the upcoming video, in the coming part of the video. So now let us talk about what is a constant class and how to access a constant class. or a constant function. So constant PHP. Okay, PHP. Okay, so this is the thing. So now we'll try to access a constant variable which I'll declare in a class. Class constant. I'll declare a class constant. So here const is the keyword. Okay, const is the keyword here. So I'll declare a variable or I'll declare a thing which is set as a constant. Declare will be declared as a constant. Hello world. Okay, this I'll make it as a constant. Now, how to access this constant variable from this which is present in this particular class? So one thing is either we can access it from out of the class or we can access within the class. So what are the two different ways in which we can access? So outside the class, when we talk about outside the class, echo constant is the class name, and scope resolution operator is what we use here. Okay, scope resolution operator, which is four dots or two colons. Two colons is what we call as constant resolution operator. Okay, and welcome. So this is a valid syntax. Now let us run this. PHP. So hello world. See, this is one way of accessing things if it is in the it is from outside the class. So when you want to access it from inside the class. Okay. If you want to access it from inside the class. So now let us write this. Okay, let me write a function over here. Function, public function, greet. Okay, public function greet. Okay, this is a public function, and I'll echo the thing whatever I've called there. So echo self colon welcome. Okay, this is the thing. Now how to access this is the thing. So when you want to access this, you have to create an object again. So obj, so object which we will create is equal to new constant is the class. Okay, $obj and create is the function which we have created. Yes. Now let us run this. Same thing will be printed. Okay, because this is the using this we are accessing now. So this is not printed now. This is being printed now. Okay. So this is a difference between how we make it a constant and how we access the constant value constant function using two different ways. Okay. So now we talk about the abstract class or abstract method which we try to declare. Okay. So what exactly is an abstract class? Abstract class is like there will be an abstract methods in that or abstract functions in which there is no particular proper set of instructions being given to that function. We can actually inherit that function and write our own set of instructions to perform in that according to the requirement. Okay. So now let us abstract dot PHP. Okay. So PHP. Then there's a thing. Now I'll declare a class as an abstract class. Abstract is a keyword which you use to declare to as an abstract class. Okay. So this is a class I've declared. So abstract class doesn't have any thing except abstract functions. Okay. Abstract function. Wait. This is an abstract function which I've called. Okay. This is the abstract function which I have called. So now let me declare one more class which extends this class. Okay. So class extended extends abstract extends abstract. Okay. So this is a class I've declared now. Now I'll call the function which is an abstract function. Function greet. Okay, shit, sorry. Here is a function. So here I'll write whatever I want. I go. This is from abstract class. Okay, this is echo this. That's all. So now I'll create an object of this $obj equal to new extended. Okay. Now I'll call this function $obj greet. Try to run this now. Okay. Okay. So in this way, we have to call the abstract class, which we try to declare abstract class must contain at least one abstract function in it. Okay, and using that we can also use an interface. Okay, we can also using an interface which we discussed in this inheritance. Okay, so here, so this is an abstract function which we declared in this is an abstract function which we have declared in a interface. So and using that our abstract function, here we have declared a set of commands which what exactly need to be executed in this function. Okay, so in this way multiple inheritance and abstract classes work in this way. That's all. Happy learning.